Yes people, what is good? I am BA, back once again with another reaction in the Pacific series. We have reached episode 7. Last episode. I love doing these recaps to the Pacific and Band of Brothers and things like that actually, because usually there's loads of intricately woven plot lines in the things I react to, and I can basically sum up most of these episodes with like, well shit went down, and yeah, shit went down again. Absolutely incredible action sequences throughout most of the entire episode. It focused on the soldiers having to take the airfield, I believe it was, with loads of Japanese positioned in specific points of defence. A lot of bloodshed on both sides, and eventually they managed to overcome and take the airfield. Lecky was wounded, as was his friend. I forget the guy's name, but he's been in most of the episodes thus far. And the episode ended with both of them getting on a ship and essentially leaving the war. I don't know if that's going to be the end of Lecky in this show. I would hope not, but maybe it's going to be. Maybe he's going to join that other guy on the propaganda campaign back in the US now. But we kind of have a replacement protagonist in Eugene, who has had a bit of character development over that last episode. The first episode, as I've said, he seemed like a rabbit in headlights. Last episode, he certainly was getting to grips with what he had to do to survive out there, and he even helped Queen from not just lying down and dying on the battlefield. So he won a bit of respect from his fellow soldiers and also seemed more capable in himself last episode. And as always, I'm looking forward to seeing where the show takes it this week, so let's do it. This is episode 7 of The Pacific. Let's check it out and see what it's saying to it. You know, thinking about it, it's kind of a ballsy move to brand this miniseries The Pacific, because it is essentially, you know, the same war from a different perspective, set in a different area, but they could have called this Band of Brothers Series 2. Yes, we wouldn't have been following the same soldiers in the same settings, but it is kind of a continuation. We're just seeing different soldiers in a different side, but it's the same war. And they could have used the fact it was the same war as a way to blanket it and group it together and call this Band of Brothers Series 2. So actually quite ballsy of them to just call it The Pacific, because name recognition means a lot in Hollywood. And we're back with the charcoal porn. And I don't even have any Kleenex handy. Sorry, television screen. What an inappropriate joke to make given the subject matter of the show I'm watching. I'm aware. I know if there is one, I'm going to hell, okay? Completely accept it. That piece of footage is so annoying. Tuck your trousers into your boots, Lecky. I know that was Lecky. Tuck your trousers in. Looking at it on the map, it is a fucking minute island, Pelelu. It's essentially an airfield and then maybe another 100 metres of non-used land. That's what it looks like anyway. Wonder if Eugene's tallying up his personal body count or tallying up the amount of friends he's lost. Could be either. Or the amount of frogs he's seen. Could be anything actually. That bullet whiz sound there. The sound design in this show is something I haven't really commented on yet, but when the bullets start popping off, I feel like it all sounds so authentic. From the less aggressive than you would expect sound that an MP40 actually makes, up to, you know, the heavy artillery, which does make these frightening sounds in real life. I can actually give an example of the MP40 having an unrealistic sound. In the movie Sisu, he uses an MP40, and it's a far more aggressive, loud gunfire sound than the actual MP40 shots in this show, and I feel like this show has probably got the sound bang accurate to how it actually sounds. Not the MP40, the Thompson, sorry. Very similar weapons. The Chicago typewriter. That was a terrible accent. Hey, it's the Chicago typewriter. That's me purposely doing it shit that time. Damn, Queen looks like he's seen some shit. And I don't mean sold out arenas and the AIDS virus. I bet right now he wants to break free.
Used to not smoke.
Eugene has turned into a chain smoker now.
Go get your chow! 1100. That guy just gave us the fucking morning off.
I feel like they deserve most mornings off given what they have to go through in a day.
Oh yeah, now I remember. We were over there, the Japs were over there.
The Japs were where we're sitting.
Right.
Was that guy being sarcastic, or did he literally not remember the battle he was in?
Could have come to Peleliu in the seat of a bulldozer.
Peleliu. Well, there's another thing I pronounced horribly.
I gotta get me a Jap sword. Can't go home from the war empty-handed.
You can arrange for a Purple Heart.
Liking the safari hat, bro? Not really fitting for the job at hand, but you know, some people prefer style over substance, I guess.
Never run when you can walk. Never walk when you can stand. Never stand when you can sit.
Ah yes, the famous Usain Bolt quote.
You realize our ancestors probably shot at each other? At Gettysburg or Bull Run?
It's kinda crazy America's only 250 years old and has already had a civil war.
My dad's a shop foreman at a textile mill in Massachusetts. It's nice to think my father might have had something to do with the blankets we sleep in.
Yeah, it's definitely better than being Thomas Crapper, who was the inventor of the toilet, and to this day people use his last name as an alternate word for taking a shit. Feel bad for that guy.
Buzz in, prime, buzz back.
Oh, now they're all doing it. Tuck your trousers into your fucking boots, all of you. This is the most susceptible to tripwire unit I have ever seen in my life. Oh shit!
How you doing?
I forget that guy's name, but obviously we've seen him in most of the episodes as well. Now looks like he's hanging on for dear life.
What kind of man has already served his country as a soldier in the Philippines way before Pearl Harbor?
I'm not gonna get spoken to like that from a Shriner.
Risked his life throughout a night of combat.
Oh, it is actually Shriners, or as I like to call them, the Weird Hat Masons.
Sergeant John Basilone!
He seems so over this shit at this point, like he would rather be back out there fighting. Is he being protected by the Secret Service while he golfs, or are these guys just press or something? And why is no one else doing drives next to him? Is this some sort of additional press thing? Is this just for press? Yeah, he might have been sent home early, but he was part of some of the most vicious fights. Those nighttime jungle fights just looked so brutal and confusing. That better not have been a friendly fire. That was a risky shot there, Eugene.
Who the hell was that? Two chaps, I think.
I hope he was accurate there.
You don't get out of your fucking hole at night! Because this is what happens!
Ah, shit. Well done, Eugene. Add that tally mark to your book.
What kind of guy gets out of his hole at night without sounding off?
Down with two Japs up his ass. Just one.
Oh, so it was one Japanese soldier, one American, but Eugene just so happened to shoot the American guy, damn. And I understand in a time of war, it's really hard to do anything other than shoot first and ask questions later. I get it, but living with a friendly fire kill on your conscience must be a tough thing to deal with. Is this Japanese mortar strikes or Air Force? I guess it must be mortars.
Chaps in the bunker. Bernie. I'm sure.
They fucking better be. You don't want to accidentally kill a second American soldier. Okay, I think he was right this time. I still didn't hear the language they were speaking though. I'm so worried about additional friendly fire kills. Yeah, okay, he was right. Shit, that would definitely fuck them up.
You're gonna be alright. Get off the bunker, goddammit! Come on, Bill, come on. You gotta help me.
Things are about to go from bad to worse now. Caught him with his pants down. The battlefield katana for the win. Also, there was a soldier earlier desperate for one of those swords. Eugene better pick that shit up.
Brian, Womack!
Guy let out a flamethrower war cry there. Or at least they put him out of their misery. Must be one of the most brutal ways to go just by fire alone.
Fucking die!
I think he's dead. Another one bites the dust, so to speak. Yes, I will be going through Queen's back catalogue whenever that character comes up on screen for the remainder of this show. Of course I am. Was that the sword? I thought the dude pulled out a straight up katana. Not that little piece of shit. Nobody wants a westernized sword.
Makes it easier.
Agreed. Better not to let any of them suffer. You just turn into like some sort of inhumane serial killer if you're torturing people.
The McCullough boosted my old man's mercury DA 40%.
It only has 4 PSI, Snap.
Oh no, the rain's back, the true enemy of the American units in this show. The axis of evil during this war was the Germans, the Japanese, and the rain. Again, how the fuck are you supposed to get any sleep in these conditions? Surely impossible until you finally pass out of actual exhaustion. Look at him feeling sorry for himself. Oh, I'm just a poor boy from a poor family. Get over yourself. We haven't seen these bad boys yet. They're basically tanks without the tank. Ah, shit. Missing limb number 1 of this episode. Goodbye, right foot. It's what you get for not tucking in your trousers.
Let's go. Get him on a stretcher.
Was he literally pouring salt into the wound there? I mean, granted it'll make the meat taste better, but let the guy die first. Okay, he's definitely dead now. Why are they still carrying him? The guy's fucking dead. Now you guys are just wasting energy. I wonder if they purposely targeted the guy in the stretcher, or they were just like shooting at the group of people carrying it, and just so happened to hit him again. I feel like he was hard done to if they specifically targeted him on his stretcher.
Get out of here. Come on.
Shit, this guy was so resolute last episode as well. It's weird to see him so emotional.
Haney is the old breed. If a guy like that breaks.
It's exactly what I was thinking. If the old grizzled dude has broken down, any of them could break down like that.
We go into those hills again, I'm gonna get hit. I know it.
That's the spirit.
Just as long as it's quick.
It's exactly what I'd want for myself in a war. Like, fair enough, if I'm gonna die, fully accept it. I'm in a war. I expect to potentially die, but just don't make it some long drawn out, brutally painful shit. In general, crying will hinder your aim slightly. But even stranger if it didn't. Like there was just one military sharpshooter sniper. It's like, yeah, he fucking aims better when he cries. Cries all the time, hits nothing but headshots. Oh, him over there? That's old Crying Martin. Best in his unit. And I'm aware I crack more jokes watching these shows than some of the other shows which are less brutal. Do you know why? It's to keep the mood light. We're already watching such heavy material. Some of you guys would prefer if I was sitting here, one hand on my heart, teary-eyed, so proud of them all. And you're the same people that listen to sad music when you're sad to heighten your own sadness. I like to try and keep myself in good spirits personally. If I'm sad, I put on the Benny Hill music. It's hard to cry with the Benny Hill theme playing. You just feel like an idiot. At least they have water this episode. It was brutal to see them all needing it last episode and no one had any. Again, I would take death over no water. In a war, I'd pretty much take death over most things. No water, too much rain. It's either too little water or too much. Never a nice middle ground. I don't know what to make of Eugene so far this episode. He seemed like he was finally getting his shit together last episode, but this episode he seems like it's overwhelming him again. They must have all really liked this guy. Not many of the dead have gotten so much respect. Bet you wish you were back in Jurassic Park now, Eugene. Electric fences ain't got shit on warfare. T-Rexes might, to be fair. And yeah, there is just no time for mourning in a place like this. As soon as someone dies, you just have to keep it moving. If you spend a moment putting your mind in a state of reflection or missing someone you've lost, you are infinitely more likely to die yourself in this situation. Look how believable all these sets are. I haven't mentioned it this episode, but just everything we're seeing looks so authentic. Shit, that was fucking brutal. Talk about Chinese water torture. Raindrops are falling on my head. That's got to be the goriest piece of imagery we've seen in either this or Band of Brothers so far.
Don't! You shouldn't do it.
Why is he stopping him from doing it?
Doc Caswell says all these dead nips have germs.
Is that his real reason? I don't believe him. I think maybe he feels like it just bears heavy on the soul to start doing that shit, and he's trying not to let Eugene go to the dark side.
Well, is it alright with you if I cut out his insignia then?
No danger in that I know of.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think he was genuinely doing that to try and save Eugene's soul a bit. It looks like he's one bad day away from a breakdown this episode. I'm not mad that it's showing the human side of all these individuals, but that being said, you would expect people in these situations to be a bit more resolute and focused on the task at hand. It's showing a lot of soldiers having little breakdowns, crying, inner conflicts, going insane. These are qualities you do not want in members of your military unit. Man, the old guy seems like he has seen enough. He literally looks like a shell of the man he was just one episode ago.
Your second sore eyes. Very kind of you.
Hot nurses, this must be like a godsend to these guys. I know I've been judging Lecky for it, but he's a serial nurse checker outer. These guys haven't had the pleasure yet.
You've had your look-see, now move along.
And this is exactly what his father warned him about before he left. You know, his dad was saying war will change you. And I feel like at the time he wasn't really given that too much credence. It's already changed him, and not necessarily for the better. Okay, and that was episode 7 of The Pacific, and I will be back in just a minute with my thoughts on that. So, episode 7, what did I think of that? I genuinely feel like I'm going to be repeating myself throughout a few of these reactions, just because the same things continuously stand out to me. The quality of the scenery, the effects, the gunfire, the action, the sound design, the direction. Throughout this entire show, it has just been immaculate. I'm genuinely quite shocked that this isn't ranked directly up there, side by side with Band of Brothers, because I see no difference in quality, in storytelling, in any of it. They both do such a great job putting you right in there with these guys we're following, and the believability of the effects, the brutality, the gunfire, it's just so incredible. Eugene has essentially had a character shift in all 3 episodes since he's been on the battlefield thus far in my eyes. Episode 1, like I said, he was a rabbit in headlights. Episode 2, he seemed like he was getting to grips with it all and became a bit more stoic and resolute and a man of action. Now in this 3rd episode we've seen of him on the battlefield, he seems like he's actually losing his marbles a little bit due to all the chaos that's been going on around him. I'm not saying it's not understandable, I'm just saying the best version of him was 1 episode ago. This isn't how you want to be on a battlefield. You cannot let this shit get the better of you, regardless of how brutal it is, regardless of what you see. You have to keep your mind in the moment and on the task at hand. Easier said than done, I'm aware of that. I was not there in that shit with them. I could have easily lost my mind, just like Eugene has. In fact, I'd have lost my mind in episode 3 due to the fucking jungle rain, let alone all this shit, and seeing people I struck up friendships with dying. Okay, so I'm aware that I'm being a backseat driver, but you know, I can't teleport myself back in time and join in, so I can only give you my thoughts on the situation, and what I do know is, In times of peril, keeping a level head will be definitely beneficial to you and everyone else around you. Nobody is helping anyone if they're going insane. Nobody's really helping anyone if they're starting to go insane and just think manically about it all. That is for, years after the war's finished. Deal with all your PTSD and shit after it all. But in the moment, you need to keep your head in the fucking game. But Eugene wasn't the only one it was affecting. We saw the old commander guy who again seemed like one of the most hoorah dudes in the entire unit. He eventually cracked and the shit got the better of him this episode. So, no, this stuff wears heavy on the human soul, clearly. All in all, another great episode. Every episode has been great so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week. If you've liked this video, click like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, ring the bell to be notified as to when they drop. If there's anything you want to talk about, comment down below, and share this around to anyone you think might appreciate it or want to watch these reactions along with us. My Patreon link is down in the description. If you become a patron, you get access to my blog, you get access to these reactions I put on YouTube a month and a half in advance, and you also get access to full-length versions of everything I react to. So consider becoming a patron, it helps me and my channel out so much, and until next time, I have been BA, peace.